the return going to be worth it? Okay? If the return is not worth it, then it doesn't make sense to take on more risk. I think that we should all be preparing the youth for leadership in the future and really holding them accountable for reaching for a higher standard, a higher level. I also feel that it's really, really important for us older people to educate younger people on things that, you know, they can only learn from a mentor type situation or from someone sharing that information with them. So I think it's really important to reach out to the youth and teach them the basics that they need to know to be successful. I love coming out and doing this, and I really feel like, you know, if someone had taught me those things when I was younger, that it would have drastically improved my situation. And so I just really want to give back and give them those tools that they need to really begin to build wealth and make sure that they don't make the mistakes that a lot of people make when they're very young. This program is definitely above and beyond anything you can get out of just going, you know, to your high school or to your college. And this is really about empowering you, showing you who you can be, who you can become, and giving you the tools, and kind of really pushing you to a whole nother limit, the kind of limit that you're going to experience when you get to college. A lot of times some people aren't prepared for what it's like in college, and this is really, I mean, you have a college professor here teaching it, and it's pretty intense, and it's going to push you to the limits. You're going to learn a lot. You're going to learn a lot about yourself. You're going to be empowered. You're going to be more prepared than you ever were. And, you know, you're just going to meet a lot of other people, other young people like yourself that are trying to do the exact same thing, that are on a higher level of achievement, trying to get to a higher place in life.
So here we are at around 3 a.m., just a little past 3 a.m., waiting for the bus. It should have been here by now, but we're not going to say anything. So, patiently taking our time. We're gonna go survey some of the guests. What do you expect to happen?
Are you videotaping this?
No. So what do you expect?
Have a good time.
What are your expectations? Yeah, have a good time? Can you be any more vague?
Yeah.
Yeah? You can?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna be an interesting trip.
Again, we're going over Lake Hunter Train. This is the new bridge, which is obviously much higher than the bridge. If we could see beyond this bridge, we can see how low the bridge that was devastated by Katrina is. We could barely see it under this bridge, just how close it is to the water. So obviously it was destroyed. If you look forward over to the right, that's the old bridge as it inclined up. If you look over to the right, the very last bridge on the right, that was the old twin span, okay? And obviously they're building a new one here, much higher, obviously much higher, so that again it will not suffer the devastation of a hurricane. There it is, look to you.
So here we are, we made it to our lodging area. This is Unitarian Universalist Church. This is where we'll be staying. You see everybody lining up right now. Get the trip started. Just spent an hour or so at the French Quarter. We'll be back there later this evening. Then we'll do some service for a few hours and make a difference in some lives.
My name is Anthony Lee. I am an urban farm grower and garden builder. I've worked with different growing organizations in the city of New Orleans until I decided I wanted to have my own spot. I communicated with different organizations to see if I can get assistance in building. Dr. Mike was one of the people, in fact, the first group that came through and helped me build my raised bed garden. I built these raised beds so that I could easily take care of my crops. I could easily pick my okra and my eggplant and bell peppers, which my kids, volunteers that Dr. Mike brought me, has already done. One of the things I like to do when I get volunteer groups through here is explain some of the problems we have in the wetlands. And we have a restoration program that's on the way that your group from Atlanta is helping us with. One of the things I really want to speak out on is that everybody can do their own part. If your school doesn't have garden, ask why not. If you don't have a community garden in your neighborhood, ask why not. You can lead the way in building sustainable food so that you don't have to spend your high price. Food security is something that I do for myself. I don't have to come out of my pocket as often for food. That's security. Security to me is getting your neighbors, your friends to grow. So I ask everybody to start looking at ways you can help somebody that's growing. All right, if you pass a person that's got a yard, ask them, can you help them? And learn how to grow your own food and backyard growing. You're getting your food from sources you do not control. So if you don't control it, you don't know what's being put in that food. The security part comes from knowing where your food comes from and helping grow and maintain your own gardens. When I get groups like yours in, I make sure I give you what I've learned. And I really extremely suggest that you start looking out for your own welfare. Young men, young ladies, black health is at an all-time crisis. We're having more heart attacks, more strokes, more liver diseases, more the blood sugar, diabetes. And most of it is through our diets, what we choose to eat. So we have to get we've got to get a handle on this now.